Hey, good morning, everybody. And on the agenda, uh, Ray had given me 10 minutes, and I felt, guilty if I didn't try to at least find a way to use all 10 of those minutes so that the timer would go off. But I am currently at the Business Technology Forum in Cheyenne, and I just wanted to touch on a couple things since our meetings have been kind of scattered here because of all the different events going on. So I'm just going to hit three highlights for you all and just want to make you guys aware. Obviously, we've had some big changes in the technology department, and so some of that has led to some network changes that are being implemented right now. We are working with an outside network provider, ISC, formerly Venture, formerly known as ISC. And so we are working through some of those things to monitor and relook at our network and all those pieces. So with that, as with any time any business or organization has people depart, the challenge becomes what you personally need to do. So as a FYI for everybody, if you have not looked at your passwords, you probably need to, just because that would be proper protocol when all of that information potentially has outside access. So I would encourage all of you to change your Gmail password and those things. If you have issues with that, you can let me know, and I will gladly stop by and help. Otherwise, you can also use Synergize to kind of help walk through that process if there's something tricky for that. As far as getting your passwords changed. Printers, I know Tom is going to talk a little bit about printers and copiers coming up, and this is an issue within the schools. We met with the copier provider, and we looked at a lot of numbers, and I think Tom's going to share some of those with you, and they are staggering to say the least, but they at least give us a number to work with, and with that is just copiers. So we are looking at getting copiers and or color copiers in the buildings and coming up with a plan for those. So at the current moment, we are trying to scavenge and do whatever we can to save some of the printers to make sure that your buildings have access to those as far as color and black and white. But with that being said, that is a cost. Special ed is a little bit different because of the confidentiality piece. But that is a cost that we are looking at and trying to streamline the process of our printing and or copying. And so it's going to be an ongoing conversation, but I want to make you aware of where we are, and I want you to be thinking about when you think about across the district, we're printing 3,000-ish pages per person, per student in this district. When you start to think about those numbers, and you start to think, how can we just trim that a little bit and start narrowing that number down. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. We're definitely going to, as we build that plan and what it looks like in each building, it's going to rely heavily on teachers and in particular principals, what you need and how do we modify and meet those needs as well. So next piece of that puzzle is phones. There's been an ongoing conversation a little bit about two pieces to the phones. I just want to touch on that with you. So when we look at the phones, our phone system is old, and the phones we currently have we cannot buy anymore. And so the new model of the Cisco phones that we can buy do not hook into our system, and it's like plugging into a new computer into outdated software, so it will not work. And so we are going to be faced with a couple options coming in the near future. Potentially, our contract is up in February, and so I want to have this seed planting, and I want you to think about it in the idea of when you look at your phones. We have toyed with the idea of getting rid of all of the fancy phones in all of the classrooms and looking down the path of cell phones. And so there are obviously some good things to that, there are some bad things to that, but we need to think about what would be the benefit, what would be the drawback to doing that. We would still keep phones in offices. As far as principal's office, your building secretaries would still have those capabilities. But as far as the classrooms go, we would maybe look at a different way of doing that. So we have till February, but that conversation needs to be planted and needs to be looking at right now. And so with that, I will hopefully this will generate a good conversation, and when I get back, we can maybe at the next PLC or the next admin meeting, we can really kind of hammer out the pros and cons. So really be thinking about teachers having cell phone access in their room. What would be the benefit? What would be the drawback for that? Is a question I can only I'm asking you to ponder. And moving on to my third point, doors. So every one of you, as far as has access to the shared file, shared folder with the building schematics, just so hopefully we can streamline the door issue when there's a door that needs to be opened extra long or programmed differently or whatnot, that we can talk the same doors. Because talking, Mr. Smith's door or the Northwest Corridor door, those kind of things have kind of been an entertaining little deal. You all have permissions on those, so you can share those with whoever you want to have those in your building. They can come back to me and I can share them as well, but you can share those as well. With that, Warren is getting the boxes into the buildings right now. We're going to get those hooked up. And so to a certain extent, you'll have a little bit more control within your building. On the doors and camera, we have a trainer coming in to train a lot of people on the 10th and 11th there of December. And so as we get a little bit more information on that, if there's specifically maybe a couple people from the buildings that we want to have involved in that, we will. But right now we're going to make sure the entire tech department and the maintenance team and everybody kind of has a real grasp of what's capable and what we can do with the doors as such. So I hope you have a great day, rest of the meeting. If you're going to Laramie, go Bronx. So any questions, I'll read the notes and go from there. So have a great day. Thanks.